Hey gang, it's Revolt. Got another Dire Marsh video for you. Third one in a row, I think probably for two reasons. First one is that it plays really strongly into my Tarkov background, and the other one is that I see a lot of people complaining about Dire Marsh, and I think it's really not that tough of a map once you just play it a little slower and pay attention to what you're doing. I'm really going to blast through this run through. A lot of this is really sped up. Happy to slow these down next time, but I'm only going to slow down for things that I think are worth calling out. The first thing I wanted to call out is some of the movement choices I'm making here that I'm not sure are intuitive to everyone. When I'm walking through here, I see I've got a bunch of cover on the right, and I'm going to move down and sacrifice a lot of vision to make sure that I've got both protection from sight and protection from bullets. I'm going to walk up here because I haven't heard anything up here yet. It's still early in the raid, and I've got a lot of cover all the way around. I'm also going to slow down here because I've got so much cover, and I'm going to keep my heat for when I need to move, which is going to be as soon as I jump over this fence. I'm going to be extremely on guard because AI uplink is always a hotspot, and especially early on in the raid. I'm looking around. I get stuck on this bush in a way I didn't expect. And sure enough, I'm looking to see if I can find an opportunistic kill, and boy, they could not have made it any easier for me. I kept my sound profile low, I kept cover around me, and I was just there when I needed to be because I was paying attention to the way the map was playing out. I'm burning a ton of heat at this point, and this is really key. I've got less cover with these trees right here. I know I've made a ton of noise. I know there's turrets, so I'm going fast, I'm going loud, I'm burning up any resources I've got. I can see that I'm about to hit my heat limit, and I dip into this container. And I don't know what I was doing. I must have tabbed out. So we'll play through this at 8 times speed. I'm going to start moving towards my objective. I know I need to get to bio research all the way in the north. And as I'm approaching, I hear shooting here. So it's cold as hell in my office, and I accidentally let off a little desk pop there. Not great. But I know that I want to pay attention to what he's doing, and I don't want to get caught by him as he moves to bio research, especially because he might have heard my shooting. And I'm going to hang out here with absolutely no glory, pure rat strats for as long as it takes. I heard the exfil activate, and I wanted to see if there was anything on my map that I should be taking away from it. There wasn't anything really newsworthy for me. I go back to listening. One of my tricks to collect information on where the enemy might be is that I'm going to wiggle my mouse a little bit so that way I can tell which ear it's coming through more to get a better idea of where they are exactly relative to me. I get a feeling that he's coming from the left now after doing some of that. One more wiggle for that. And there he is. This is not a kill compilation. This is a loot compilation. So you see I hit his body, and my loot's going to jump from 1.4k in my backpack to a lot higher in just a moment, mostly because of that purple item I found on him. This is my first inkling that maybe I should change my strategy. I was coming in here to do a quest that required me going to bio research and then going all the way back to quarantine. I'm approaching bio research. I feel pretty safe because there's so many UESC, but you'll see I was wrong. So I get lit up by this player, very nearly die, and I'm in panic mode right now. I'm going for a heal, I'm using my thruster, I overheat myself, and then I'm using my shield both to keep myself safe and also gain vision. I caught a corner of vision there, and I'll slow that down and give you a freeze frame. But I got a corner of vision there, so I knew that he was there. And now I'm moving to a place where I don't think he'll check, and I've also got cover from UESC all around. I made the choice to reload. Probably not correct, but not a terrible call either. I'm about to realize I've got no patch kits. I'm buckling in for the long haul. You'll see that I'm going to be here for damn near a minute. Speeding it up for your benefit, I'm sitting there listening for sound cues, really listening for an opportunity to escape. I was hoping that he would engage the UAC, but he really didn't, which was a good choice on his part. And then when I get the UAC on me, it really forces my hand. I've given away my position completely, and I've got to move faster than he can react to. I know that I've got tunnels that get me far, far away and give me a lot of cover, a lot of choices for where I can go that he's going to have to coin flip where I went. And I'm just going to be booking it through here, and the big thing I'm looking for now is getting my health situation sorted out. I find a wall safe down here and decide it's worth risking, given that I'm pretty far away from the guy right now. And well, look at that. I'm up 7.6 loadout value here. And at this point, I'm starting to think, do I even want to risk doing my quest anymore? And this is one of the things that I think is really, really key, is you'll see when I actually make the decision to abandon the quest later, but having that in the back of your mind, you always want to go into a raid with a plan. Like, what am I going to do? It's going to direct you. I had the plan. It's how I got to where I am now. But the situation has changed. It doesn't make sense for me to push that plan anymore. A moment ago, we heard the exfil pop. And then we hear it complete right now. So I'm going to look, I'm going to make sure that it's gone, and it is. And as soon as I'm sure that it's gone, I book it over here. He could have faked this. He could be in there waiting for me to react to that. I'm willing to risk that. I thought that was unlikely and a situation I'd gamble on, but at the end of the day, Marathon is a numbers game. Sometimes I'll get got. I knew that I was taking the risk, but I went for it. UESC is going to come in here in a second. That makes me scared. I'm going to lock in, and I'm going to get my quest done. Well, sorry, I'm going to get my quest progressed. I've still got very little health. I didn't get the kind of healing that I wanted out of the other building. I'll close the door to keep myself safe. Now, my biggest goal here is to get out of here without taking too much damage. And I eat a ton of it as I'm running here. And that was unfortunate. Thankfully, very little of it actually went to my health. This is not a particularly safe spot to be, but I don't have any other choices. You'll see as soon as I get stamina back, I'm going to start positioning smarter. I'm going to move closer to the building, give me cover. And I'm still planning on going to quarantine here. And then I see way too many bots. So my goal here is handle them safely. I also see that exfil go up. Looks like probably algae pawns. And at this point, I know I've aggroed too many, and I just need to play cover hard, hard, hard. So the one thing that I wanted to keep this video slowed down for, even though I'm just killing UASC, is I'm going to play the hell out of cover, and I'm going to take very little damage the whole way through here. I actually got a ton of use out of that Magnum in this fight. Unfortunately, I'm going to get rid of it in just a moment, thanks to that long shot. Say goodbye before picking it up. I went from 7.9 loot value to 9,000. I'm finding a ton of meds in here. I managed to kill all of this without taking any significant health damage. I'm continuing to loot, seeing what I can shake out of this. I'm about to notice that my loot value is somewhere around 10k. Yeah, 10.4 there. It's actually going to dip lower later. I'm going to elect to get rid of those 5 stacks of keepsakes. Those were kind of more than I expected. They were like grand on their own. But I thought it was worth it to get my consumables, my barter items for all of the vendors. So I gave a little bit of cash up there. You'll see this is the point where I actually commit to leaving. I don't know why I can't ping the guard at exfil. I've been having that bug perma. You'll see here I want a little additional ammo. I realize I've still got the quest item. I throw it away, even though I'm headed that direction. Wanted to talk about my pathing here. A lot of the time I find myself coming from greenhouse and needing to get to the other side of the map. It is a little bit of a choke point. I find going over the roof of algae ponds is one of the safer bets as long as you're not hearing shooting there to begin with. It's very easy to tell when there's a problem there, and if there's not a problem there, you can just cruise right through. I also want to hit on how I manage my resources here. I know that I'm going to have to fight the UESC, so as soon as I call it, I'm out of there, I'm getting cover, I'm going to play cover just like the last time I needed to play it very safe. I'm using search and destroy, and nothing glamorous about it. I'm peeking out, I'm emptying the mag, and I'm back behind cover. I take very little damage from it, but I get nervous when my shields are empty. I pull out the sniper rifle because it doesn't hurt. And then every time I get in the ring, I put my shield up. Even if they downed me, as long as I'm not fully finished, I'm getting out of there. So whatever I can do to buy myself an additional second is huge. And that's the run. Nothing really glamorous to it, but it's important not to be too wedded to any decision you make at any point. And I came out ahead, 9,000 credits on a sponsored kit when I was just trying to do a throwaway quest. And with no backpack even. So, thank you all for coming through. I hope this is helpful to you, and I will see you on the next one.